Hello students, how are you all? I hope you are doing fine at home. I am your teacher Neha and today we are going to see the chemistry of class 9th and name of the lesson is water. And children, in previous class we have discussed about how, where and why water is useful. And then in previous video we have seen the solution part, right? So what did we see in the solution, children? We have seen that there are three major things to make a solution. One is the solute, another one is the solvent, and when this two together mixes, it's known as a solution. And furthermore, we have discussed about the true properties of a solution. So children, in this lesson, we are going to discuss about the solubility. Solubility means when a solid dissolves inside a liquid and it becomes disappeared. Okay, so yes, so now let's go and see what's there in this lesson. So children, first we have to determine the solubility of a solute at room temperature. So children, here the solute which we are taking is KNO3. What it is? KNO3, which is potassium nitrate. So children, in this we are taking the potassium nitrate as a solute and water as a solvent. Now what I am doing is I am taking a beaker. Inside the beaker I add my potassium nitrate. So when I am adding 1 spoon, you will see that all the particles got mixed up. But as I go on increasing the amount of solute, you will see that after some time something is accumulated down, right? So when there is some kind of residue which is left below, that is known as a saturated solution. What solution is this, children? It is saturated solution. Okay. So now we need to find what is the solubility of the salt as you increase the amount of solute in this. So after this, what we are doing is we are taking a china dish, and in that china dish we are adding the pure clear solution. We are not adding this particle, okay? We are just adding the pure clear solution. Now when I am doing that, children, what you will see that I am taking a china dish, right? So here what you have to fix in your mind that before keeping the china dish above, you are weighing it. You are finding weight of china dish, and you are finding that the weight of your china dish is equal to 10 grams. So after taking the weight, what you can do is you can write it here 10 grams. Okay. Then again from the clear solution which we got from previous thing, we are taking it and we are putting it inside the liquid. When we are putting inside the liquid, we have to measure again what is the weight of your dish. Now you have to write weight of your china dish plus the solution. Solution of what, children? Solution of KNO3, and you found that the weight is now as 22 grams. Okay? Yes. Now what you have to do is when it starts getting heated up, you will see that all the water molecules from this will start getting evaporated, and after a point you will see that only a salt particle is left. So when you are getting the salt particle left, again you are taking the china dish and you are measuring the weight. So again you will write weight of, again the china dish, because we did not change the china dish, with dry salt. Okay, and now you are seeing that the weight have changed and the weight became 15 grams. Okay. Now you have the weight of the china dish which you have to reduce, or we have to remove it from the solution. When you are taking out the china dish weight, the weight of your solution will become 12 grams. Same way, if you are taking out the dish weight from here it will become 5 grams. So, now you know what is the weight of your solution, you know what is the weight of your solvent or solute here. After that, when you are putting inside the formula, you will get to know what is the solubility percentage and at what particular temperature. Here we have taken the room temperature, right. How it is getting mixed up, we are going to see that. Yes. So children, the solubility curve, if you are seeing that, if you just keep on increasing the temperature, the solubility will keep on increasing, which you can see from the graph. It is just going exponentially up, right. Yes. So children, now let us compare a solubility curve. So this picture is representing you the solubility curve. So you can ask me why it is used, right. So first thing, why a solubility curve is used is, you can find at what particular temperature the solubility keep on increasing. For example, if I want to know what is the solubility of NaNO3, which is sodium nitrate, at 20 degrees Celsius, I will get to know that yes, at this point. So here if you are comparing it, it will come around 85. So you can say that 85 gram of your sodium nitrate at 20 degrees Celsius will be having this much solubility. Same way you can compare for other salts too. Then what you can do with this is, again you can compare the solubility of different liquids. For example, if I need to compare between CaCl2, which is calcium chloride, at the temperature of this, what is this temperature? You can just go down and see it is 22 degrees Celsius. So at 22 degrees Celsius of calcium chloride and 22 degrees Celsius of lead nitrate, you can compare. The solubility of lead nitrate will be less and CaCl2 will be higher. So this way you are comparing. Third thing which you can use for is, you can compare at what particular time or what particular temperature the crystals are forming. Once you know what is the crystal formation, you can easily use for fractional distillation or fractional crystallization. Okay? Yes. After that, there is a different kind of solubility thing. That solubility is known as anomalous solubility. And children, anomalous means something different kind of procedure or different kind of thing which you are going to see here. So, for example, we are taking gabalar salt. So, gabalar salt is nothing but it is sodium sulfate decahydrate. That means there is presence of 10 molecules of water inside that. What you are seeing over here is, as you are increasing the temperature, you will see that the graph is just keep on increasing. But at a particular temperature, that is this point, at 32.8 degrees Celsius, you will see that the solubility decreases. This property of increasing and then decreasing is known as anomalous solubility. And here, not only gabalar salt, but there are different examples like calcium hydroxide, ferric sulfate and calcium sulfate also. Okay? Yes. After this, children, we need to see how the solvents can be used other than water, because generally whenever we are talking about the solvents, we are talking only about the liquid solvent, which is water, because it is also known as a universal solvent. But there are few things which will not dissolve in the water. For example, if I take rubber. So, if I take rubber and put it inside water, will it mix? No, right? So, for that we need various substances or various other solvents. So, first solvent which we can use is alcohol. So, children, alcohol can dissolve iodine, then chlorophyll, which we can get extracted from the atmosphere, then one more thing is iodine. Okay? So, these things we can just mix it with alcohol and it can be extracted. Same way, benzene is generally used for the mixing up or the solubility test for the rubber. Then petrol, terpenyl oil is generally used for perfumes, okay, because it gives a very good odor. Then acetone for removing the paints or nail paints, it is used. Then oxalic acid is also an example of a different kind of solvent which you can use. So, students, this is the last topic. So now we are going to see what are all solvents which we use in our daily life. So first one, what is this? Generally boys will love this. Yes, this is perfume. So generally children, terpenol oil is present in perfume which will give a very good aroma or very good smell. Same way there is grease stain. This is also because of few boys only. You are playing outside and because of that the grease gets stuck to your body or your dress, then your mother has to clean, right? So there you can use borax oil or borax solution also. Same way for extraction of chlorophyll from the leaves, you can use alcohol, then tincture of iodine. So here you are using a different kind of liquid which is also a terpenol oil. This when you mix it with iodine, or here you can take alcohol also. When it gets mixed, it can be used by the doctors for the wound binding or wound injury. If you have, you can use that. And finally coffee stains. So coffee stains can be easily removed by a lemon juice, or generally if we are talking in sense of chemistry, then it can be a acetone or any different kind of solution. Right students? Yes. So students, in this lesson we have discussed about how the solubility acts depending upon the temperature and the solvents. Then we have also seen now what are the various solvents which we are using in our daily life. And when you are going into the description box children, that time you will see that there will be study material, question bank and self-assessment. Self-assessment will tell you that how much you have understood the lesson. So this lesson contains one more part which we are going to see in the other video, which is related to water pollution, because as we have discussed about the importance, the various things why water is important, we should also see that the main concern, which is the water pollution, which is created by you, me and everyone around us. So in next lesson we are going to see that. So students, I hope you have enjoyed the session. Until we meet next time with a better video. Until then, bye bye.